All right, guys. Hey, we're here with Steve Horvath of Fantasy Flight Games, sitting down to talk with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I guess the first thing, kind of tell us what your position is at Fantasy Flight and what you do on a day-to-day basis to make this company better.
Yes. Wow, what a great setup. Is my boss watching? I'm the Senior Vice President of Communication and Digital Business, and communication includes marketing, events, and organized play, and some other stuff that really doesn't matter for tonight.
So you more or less do everything that we care about, right?
What is communication and digital? What does that mean?
What is?
I guess that's a title, right?
Sure.
But what does that involve?
That just mean you
So communication is just an umbrella title, I guess, for marketing, events, organized play, public relations. Anytime that we're communicating with the outside world. I'm also in charge of licensing.
You've done a good job there.
Yeah, wow, what a licensing wizard, I would say. So we busted open the Star Wars LCG. You've been talking to us about this game. It looks super slick, and we can't say enough good things about kind of how this has come around to be what it is. Yeah. What was the process like for this game? So it started out as the co-op, and then it kind of took a turn, and
yeah, it's been a long road. Some of them, our founder Christian Peterson likes to talk about. Some of these are birthed easier than others.
Yeah,
and this one has been a hard one, that's for sure. We had such amazing success with the Lord of the Rings co-op game.
Yeah,
that. We thought that this would be a good opportunity to try that with Star Wars as well, because Star Wars truly is maybe the biggest multi-generational property out there, right? Mm-hmm. Where you've got fathers and children and wives and everybody into this and at different age levels. And so we thought that this could be something that could really appeal to that demographic, to that segment. And so we tried that, and I think that we came up with a very good game. But at the end, we just felt it wasn't the absolute best Star Wars experience that we could offer. And our philosophy when we're doing licensed games, just like our own games, is that we treat them like they're our own games, and we want to deliver the best, most immersive experience we can for that property. Whether it's Descent in the Tiernoth property that we own, or it's a license like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Battlestar Galactica. We look to deliver games that are more than just a game, that it's a full experience and it's very immersive. That's what we're about.
Absolutely.
And we thought that, like I said, that we had a very good Star Wars game. And it just wasn't the best experience that we could deliver. So we went back to the drawing board, and that was painful. We had worked on that game for almost a year. And to toss something away, all the manpower, all the hours that went into that's hard to do, but it was the best thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
And I think this justifies that.
Yeah. So what is the, whenever we're talking about, a game like Star Wars, you pick up a license, say, you've worked hard to get that done. What's kind of the sequence of getting a game like this out to us, the adoring public? Is there just meetings about what kind of games do we want to make? Where do we want to go with this? And then it kind of goes from there. The game designers take over. Basic process.
Yeah, I mean, it's there'll be some big kind of blue sky discussions on what we want to do. There'll be some action items and some marching orders, I guess, that come out of that. And then whoever's assigned to the game is going to work on it, come up with a draft. We work with our licensors as well. We'll show them where the game is. We'll talk about what our vision for the game is and what our intent is. And then we'll come and talk to them at certain iterations when we think that we've got a playable prototype. We'll fly out and show them and see what they think. And that's whether that's a board game, a card game, whatever. We'll show them and see what they think, get their input. Lucasfilm has been amazingly supportive of us on this and really helped, and we're really understanding when we went back to the drawing board, and supported us on that, and we appreciate that. And we took a couple cracks at this. Eric sat down, and like I said, he just did an amazing job. It really came together for him. He had a strong idea, and it came through pretty quickly then.
How often would you say you've played the LCG? Like you sat down and played?
This one?
Yeah. If such
Demos included?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's been hundreds of times then.
Nice. So we can trust your authority on the things that you're saying over anything that anyone else might say.
You can trust me in all things. Let me see, did I get the hand? You can trust me in all things, all right? As I've played the game a lot. I was part of the crew that worked Star Wars Celebration this year, so I played the game a lot there as well. And I've played it internally a lot. I was involved a lot in the playtesting. And so, I've got a lot of experience with the game, I guess, at this point.
What would you say to people who, you went from co-op to pod deck building, right?
Yeah.
For the people that were really concerned about the whole deck building pod idea, what's your response?
Play it.
That's a good response.
Play it, really, seriously. I know that there's been some controversy over it, and people want to, veteran players want to control card by card and make their whole decks like that. I understand that. I come from a CCG background, I get that. And I really got to say, you got to play the game. Because it actually, what you're going to find out as a veteran player, that you do make less decisions, but they're more complex decisions. So instead of just saying, well, I'm going to take this card out and put this card in. Sorry, I didn't mean to mess up your layout here. You've got to do it by a whole set, right? A whole objective set. So it's 6 on 6. So it's like, well, if I want this card to come in my deck, all these others are coming with it. So I've got to judge what that's going to do for my deck, right? So maybe this objective helps, but will these cards help put forward the theme that I'm making for the deck? Because the decks do end up being very thematic, because each of the different sets are thematic, and a lot of them tie in with each other. So you'll see a lot of synergy in the cards. But it's a big deal to take, if you play with a 60-card deck or a 50-card deck, which is the minimum, you're taking one objective and 5 cards out. That's 10% of your deck in one choice. So that choice is a big deal. Wow. And it's a lot more complex about just making a value comparison on this card versus that card. It's, well, these 6 versus these 6. And one of them works differently, because one of them's an objective card, and the other 5 go in your command deck, right? So how is that objective card? Well, what if I don't draw it? Is that going to, is it worth the chance on that with the other 9 objective cards I have in my deck, or is it going to have something that has a big payoff? Now, and then on the other hand, I've got these 5 cards going into my 50-card deck. That's going to be 10% of my deck. What's that going to do to the deck synergy, right? Is the 4 cards that are with this one going to help it or going to hurt it? Is my deck going to end up at cross purposes? I mean, the depth, the complexity of the decision making is absolutely there. It's just a different type of decision. I mean, Nate talks about that in his article that we just posted this week about it. It's less decisions, but they're a lot more impactful.
Yeah. Now, you expect, I presume, and this is kind of where I'm coming from it as well, as these force packs, which we just saw the latest one you released today, kind of not released, but gave the teaser of it. These decisions.
Don't start that rumor.
We also got that.
Yeah.
These decisions are just going to get, seems like, more and more interesting as you go. And the game is, like, evolving a game like Game of Thrones on a card-by-card basis is interesting, but evolving it through pods, where all of a sudden there's this new set of cards you're starting to include in your decks. It seems like that's going to be really interesting.
It is. Yeah. It's very exciting, too. And then you're going to see, I know one of the things that I've seen out there, people talking about, they're afraid that they're not going to see a lot of deck diversity.
Right.
It's actually going to be the opposite. As these force packs come out, you're going to see more deck diversity, right? Because people are selecting entire objective sets, or what you guys call pods, instead of one card, right? And so they're going to have to change their deck more than maybe they would on a one-for-one basis.
Right.
So you're going to see more diversity than you would. At the very beginning, with any living card game, it is a very narrow card pool. So you're going to see the same cards over, whether you're building in objective sets or you're doing card by card. But as the card pool grows through the monthly packs, you're going to see vast diversity.
Awesome. Now, let's switch gears a little bit to the organized play, because I know you have a lot to do with that as well. So what can you tell us about the organized play for the next year of Fantasy Fight? I know you had said that you kind of had plans and it all planned out already. So what do we have to look forward to?
We've got a great team working organized play now. We've got Anton and Stuart, and they have really been fantastic, and they've taken what was, to be honest, at times a troubled department for us, as we've grown so rapidly over the past few years, and this is all new ground. Living card games, Christian invented that back in 2007. It hadn't been done before, and it required a whole different kind of organized play, because we didn't want to do unique promo cards, because the whole promise of why living card games are accessible is you don't have to chase everything. Everything you want comes in a box and you know what it is, right? So it's not a Mr. Suitcase game. And one of the things that excites me about that personally, and that I think a lot of people are starting to discover, is what's fun about that is it's about your skill building decks and playing, not what cards you can afford to buy. It's, we have a saying, it's about the game, not the chase, right? So it's not Mr. Suitcase winning, it's like who can build the best decks and who has the skill to play them the best. Because you and I have access to all the same cards. Mm-hmm. So when we play, it's not going to be a matter of, I got that promo card that was on the third Tuesday of the second month of 2 years ago, right? And I win with it, even though you're a better player. It comes down to player skill.
Yeah,
that's exciting to me.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. So how are you guys gonna improve the organized play experience? The past year, to put it into perspective, at least for Game of Thrones, the prize kit, you would get maybe some of the promo house cards, a poster, maybe one playmat. Yeah. So are you expanding those kinds of offerings, or are you going in a different direction?
And we're trying to become a lot more game focused. Some of the kits have been better than others, to be perfectly honest. And some of them have been really popular, and some of them have been very unpopular. Very unpopular. Okay? And I understand that, and I regret that happened, but again, we wanted to try a lot of different things out and see what worked, because it's not a standard model, right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're getting to the point where we have some really game-focused items that are really cool. I'm announcing this weekend that we're going to do alternate art cards for most of our LCGs, except for Star Wars. Star Wars, we're going to be doing Aurebush text. And for those that don't know, and you should if you don't, Aurebush text is the alphabet they use in Star Wars. You see the cool symbols. And so that'll take place. It'll take a character's name and the flavor text will be replaced with Aurebush, but no mechanics, so that you won't be confused by what the card does. Right. And so we think that will give people some cool bragging rights to have these cards, whether it's alternate art or the text for Star Wars. But people that couldn't get those cards aren't going to feel like, well, I can't compete now because I was on vacation when this promo card was released. Right. So it keeps the field even, but it gives the people that really go after that stuff and really want it, it gives them something that they can say, hey, look what I have and you don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And we're going to do more playmats and deck boxes.
All right, well, to close it on up here, what do you expect for the next...
Let's let that... I don't want to talk over that. Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, you ready? Yep. Good. All right, to close it on out here, what do you expect for the next year of Fantasy Flight Worlds? This is your first rodeo on this, not your first rodeo ever, of course. You guys.
But our first one here. Right?
Yes, right.
Our first one here. Yeah.
So, what do you envision for next year for Fantasy Flight Worlds?
Well, this was a great start, and it was a big decision for us to move Worlds from Gen Con to here, and I know that was also controversial, and we probably announced it a little later than we should. But this weekend, I'm going to announce all of next year's OP schedule, including the fact that Worlds will be here again. I want to say November 10th, but I will officially announce that tomorrow, and it'll be posted online next week. All right? So you can take bets if I'm right or not. It's getting late. But we can just do so much more here that we can't do at Gen Con, right? We've got live stream that we've had over 2,500 people come tune in tonight already to check out. We couldn't do that at Gen Con. They're not going to let me set that up there.
Right.
I've got probably 5 times as many staff and volunteers in just working on the events than I could ever put at Gen Con, because I've got a huge booth at Gen Con that I've also got a staff to run demos at all day, right? And the team is spread all across the convention. Here, I've got everybody that's working on this event to make it the coolest thing ever.
Right.
I mean, my hope is people leave this event tonight and go, wow, that was amazing. When they leave this weekend, they're like, yeah, I am definitely coming back next year.
Right.
That's our goal. And I've already seen a bunch of things that we can do better, some things that we're going to do different, how we can make the video game coverage better. You know, we've got to keep up with you guys on the video coverage, so we've got to step up our game a little bit.
That just
more.
means we have to step it up even more. It's an arms
good.
race now.
So there we
Arms
go.
race. It's
There
a
we
challenge.
go. So we'll be experimenting with that during regionals next year in our coverage as well. And we'll have more events. This will have a world championship next year.
Yep.
We'll probably even have some more space, and I expect that we'll have a lot more people too.
Absolutely.
So I have one last question.
Sure.
Sorry to jump in here. You can answer this however you want, but
Okay. All right.
You have permission.
looking over the next year,
Uh-huh.
you guys have done a lot of great things in the past couple of years. Lord of the Rings license, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, awesome stuff. What is it in the next 12 months that you're most excited about as a member of Fantasy Flight? Like, what is the one thing that, like, most often comes to your head and you're just, like, amped about?
That's not out yet.
Answer it how you will.
Ah,
If there's spoiler information in there, I won't be offended.
sure. I can't answer that.
There's not one thing.
See, I'm the guy.
That's
there
good,
is.
though. That's
There
good.
is. But I can't answer that because unfortunately, I'm the guy that makes sure nobody talks about the stuff they're not supposed to talk
So you
about.
can't, like, hint at it. Whatever it is.
He's good at this. He's done this before.
Hey, if we're expected to keep up with this video arms race, you've got to give us something.
That is good, but no, I can't say. I mean, right now, I'm the most excited about this, right? Because it's
Yep.
like I would like to take your copy home with me, but I'll get mine in a few weeks.
You
so
could.
Well,
if I told you what was coming up,
the fact that there's so much that you can't tell us actually is quite exciting.
There
It
is still some amazing stuff coming out. Next year is going to be pretty phenomenal.
The
awesome.
fact that there's something beyond this.
Oh, there's plenty more cool stuff coming out. There's plenty. We are not done by a long shot.
That's awesome.
So,
All right.
We're excited about it.
Thank you so
All right.
much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time and your energy.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for watching. Yeah, we will catch up with everyone else from Fantasy Flight when we get a chance and get some more games going. Everything you could want. Zach and Steven, we are out of here. Thank you.